This is a production of the Must See TV Broadcast Network, like ShareJoin, and follow us for all the latest updates. Like what you see, then throw those stars and show your support. And don't be shy, subscribe to the caveman. He won't bite, and if you're watching us right now on YouTube, then you already know what to do. Smash that like and subscribe button. Even one view can prevent one puppy from being shaven. A big fist pump goes to Donna, AI, and Music Mint for the incredible music that is in this episode. All rights belong to Christopher Michael Egerhos, a.k.a. the Caveman. So if he's ready, and if you're ready, then let's kick this show off. Growl, growl.
Lights up on the screen, it's time to see 5 days a week, we're where you wanna be. Exclusive shows and reels, we got the vibe. Tune into the network, hop on Facebook Live. Riding with the stars in our unique groove. Laughter twists and turns within every move. Must see TV's the place to catch it all. Epic moments, big and small, give us a call. Oh, you know it's must see TV come alive. Every day we light the way on Facebook Live. Catch the magic, hear the roar, feel the beat. Must see TV, the place where worlds meet. Jump right in, the fun's about to start. Bringing shows and stories straight to your heart. With every post and every share, we're free. Gotta get that fix of must-see TV. Round and round, don't let this moment fade. Together on this ride, the best we've ever made. Get the popcorn ready, it's your time to shine. Must-see TV will keep you feeling fine. Oh, you know it's must-see TV come alive. Every day we light the way on Facebook Live. Catch the magic, hear the roar, feel the beat. Must-see TV, the place where worlds meet. Oh, you know it's must-see TV come alive. Every day we light the way on Facebook Live. Catch the magic, hear the roar, feel the beat. Must-see TV, the place where worlds meet.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. LB, are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. And we're gonna do this in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a brand new episode of The Page Redemption. That's right. That's right. It's all about redeeming LB. It's all about redeeming her right now. That's right. No pressure. And without further ado, we're taking a look at the name of the win by Patrick Rothfuss. Can these names get any more harder to spell? I mean,
Is that a challenge?
maybe.
I can find you harder names.
No, it's okay. So let us.
You don't want to do any undunche?
No, Jesus. So I'm gonna bring you in. I have to summon you. You're not
I said
summoned.
nothing. They don't hear me.
Okay. So now I have to bring in our showrunner. She is the beautiful, the talented, the mystical, the magical, the myth, the legend, the the shine, the sparkle, the glitter of the must-see TV broadcast network. Lily B, Lily Bowman. How's it going, LB?
The glitter of the must-see network. I love that one. That's brand new, and I'm loving it. You know, I'm a sucker for praise.
Yeah. I praise you all the time. That's that's your contract. A raise.
It is.
Every once in a while,
if you miss
it
one,
means.
I go.
Yeah, that's
I
right.
poof.
Yeah.
Poof, you know. So.
Yeah. So, we're talking about The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss, and let's do the deep dive as we usually do. So it's all you, LB.
Okay, so let me just pull up these notes that obviously I had on my phone 2 seconds ago, but have disappeared. Here we go. Okay, so Patrick Rothfuss, he was born in 1973 on June 6th in Madison, Wisconsin. So, funny enough, when we were first supposed to do this, it was almost his birthday, but, you know, things happen.
Yeah. Yeah. Things.
That's okay. So,
yeah.
Happy birthday, Patrick. But he was born in Madison, Wisconsin, in the U.S., and he graduated from the University of Wisconsin, Stevens Point. Now, something that's interesting is that he started going to university for chemical engineering, of all things. And as his bio states, he was very good at being in school. He learned very quickly that chemical engineering is boring. So he stopped doing that. And he actually spent 9 years in school until someone kind of prodded him and said, hey, you should probably graduate. And it turned out he had enough credits to graduate with an English and arts degree. So that's what he graduated in. So he graduated in 99. And as a kid, he read extensively. His parents were really not about letting him be on TV, or rather watch TV. So he had a lot of reading going on in his life. And he also wrote short stories and poetry as a kid. And then throughout university and the later years, he was writing the book, as his friends coined it. And then when he returned to Stevens Point as a teacher, he was teaching part-time English, I believe. He was trying to get the book published. And it was only in 2002, so 3 years after he graduated, that he re-geared one of the chapters of The Name of the Wind to be a short story. And that chapter, re-geared as a short story, won the Writers of the Future award. And from that, he was able to connect with the right people that got him in touch with the right publishers and that sort of thing. And his publisher took him on, agreeing to split his story into 3. So if you haven't seen the book or know how long it is, the book is pretty hefty. It's a large book. And for that to be the book that was presented as a third of what he brought to publishers, it's no wonder they weren't publishing it. He split it into 3. The first one was published as The Name of the Wind in 2007 in March, and it won the Quill Award, and it won the New York Times bestseller. And then in 2011, Wise Man's Fear was published. And he has also published 2 stories that are within the universe of Name of the Wind, which is How Holly Came to Be, which was published in 2013, and The Lightning Tree, which was published in 2014. And then he also published a novella that is Ori's sort of perspective, which is called The Slow Regard of Silent Things, and that was published in 2014. Now, the third book is still being written. And there's a little bit of controversy around it because the publisher The third book is supposed to be called Doors of Stone, by the way. So in 2020, which is what, 18 years after the first one was published? No, that's incorrect. That's 13 years after the first one was published, and they purchased the rights for all three.
Yes.
The publisher actually went on Facebook and made like a public post.
That's
because
funny.
I think
That's
like
funny.
the like fans were sort of like, where's the third book? And she sort of said, it's like, okay, all fair and game, and like, letting writers be writers, and like, readers can't demand something of them. But what of the publishers that have actually bought the rights to the book? I haven't read any of it. Where is this? This post has since been deleted, but in 2020 she did actually post that about the third book. So if you're wondering about how that relationship is going, the third book is being written still.
Just like the winds of winter. It's coming.
It's fine. This is fine. But other news about him and as just a person. So he had a pause in his writing when he met his girlfriend, and then also later when he had a baby. And he currently has a charity that he made called World Builders, and it's actually raised $11.5 million for Heifer International, which is like, or most of that goes to Heifer International. I think it goes to several different charities. But that charity helps world building in third developing countries and that sort of thing, with like helping communities have cows and wells and that sort of thing. He also, in his university days, he wrote for the campus paper, and he was a part of writing the parody warning Good Times virus, which I don't know if you've heard anything about that.
No.
But it was like a virus it's a parody virus, which is kind of funny. But essentially it was an email that would go around warning you about the Good Times virus and to not click on any links, and here's the information about what the virus does and blah, blah, blah. And it was basically just a parody of virus emails, because the email itself was the like virus in quotes. It wasn't actually a virus, but
funny.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he was a part of writing that and sending that out, which was like, if you like Google it, it's kind of funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he was part of writing that. And what else do I have in here? Oh, last fun fact about him. He also was a co-writer for the issues 1 to 4 in 2018 of the Rick and Morty versus Dungeons and Dragons comic that was created.
Oh, snap.
Super random.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So he's also, like, he's made a couple of world building, tabletop games with other friends of his and that sort of stuff. So that's Patrick Rothfuss in a nutshell. We're still waiting for book number 3. So that was the warning that came with this book when I decided to start it, was everybody on my friends list basically being like, okay, you'll cry because the third book is not yet out. But with that being said, the last thing about him is he also has started a press called Underthing Press in 2021. I don't have an awful lot of information about it, but he has started that. So interesting stuff about Patrick himself. And let's go into first thoughts on the book. What were your first thoughts going in?
I was excited, tell you the truth.
Okay.
I'm like, oh, this is an author that's known for wordsmithing, and I like a good wordsmith. I like good writing. I've encountered it here and there, and when I learned that it was like this author is known for wordsmithing, it was like, ooh, I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard. So I got this recommendation from someone at work.
Yeah.
And we normally will chit chat on our lunches about various other like fantasy realms and that sort of stuff. So when I asked him for recommendations, he was like, "Oh, you should definitely read this." And every single person that I've talked to mentioning it has said, "Oh, you know, it's a great book, but be prepared to be mad because the third book is yet to be out, and you know, we're just good lucking it on that." So I was a little bit apprehensive, I guess, but also excited just to open it up and get reading on it.
What's your first check mark then?
My first check mark is, I mean, it kind of jumps off of what you were saying with the wordsmithing.
Yeah.
You know, it's beautiful writing, and like right from the get-go, it reads like poetry. It reads like prose in that sense, but not in like an overwrought way.
Yes.
You know, like it's not trying too hard. It's just exactly what it is, and it reads really well. I thought it was really beautiful writing, personally.
Yeah.
How about you? What was your first check?
I agree. I mean, I really like the wordsmithing. I think it's really good. I think it's really sexy sounding. I just liked how the words flowed together so seamlessly into like other words, like almost like water. It's almost like running water in that perspective.
Yeah. It has a really good flow to it. I agree.
Yeah. And I really enjoyed reading it. Like, I had no problem with the chapters at all when I'm like, oh, this is really good. This is really sexy sounding. I like it. I like it. So that would be my first check mark as well. What's your next check mark?
So it's kind of related, but it is different. I'd say it's definitely different enough to be its own point, is that it's a page turner. And I don't mean that in the way of like it relies on high octane, like chase pursuits or whatever in order to be like, oh, I wonder what the next thing is going to be. But it's, I found myself getting drawn through the story rather than kind of like having to slog it through and like force myself to read. I really found myself flipping through those pages. So it's a big book for sure.
Yeah,
but
it is.
Found it wasn't like a mountain to climb.
No,
it was, you know, it's a big book, but I got through it because it was a page turner, no problem.
Yeah. My other check mark is I like the demons. The demon spiders. I thought that was really, really interesting. How they had like no mouth and no like they had eyes, but they had no mouth. I like the legs that were like little swords cutting through people. I thought that was interesting and cool. In the book, I thought that was really a different perspective on how to take those kind of aberrations and make them something unique.
Yeah, you know what? I don't actually have that as a check mark, but you're right. I think that was really like quite a unique. I hesitate to say baddie. You know, I hesitate to say like it's the antagonist, sort of. Right? It's one of the terrors in the night, if you will. I thought it was really well done how it was described and then how we saw it later and how the different things pulled together on that. Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
I'm sorry, LB. I can't lie to you anymore. I have no more check marks.
I know. You know why I know? Because you immediately asked me what my first check mark was instead of jumping into them.
I
know.
I apologize. I think you know why too. I think you know why. I'm pretty sure.
I'm curious to hear what your X's are, and I surprised myself with having a couple of X's more than I thought I would.
Yeah.
But the last thing, like I know why you don't like it specifically.
Oh yeah.
However,
I have
my
words. I have
last
thoughts.
check mark is specifically on that. So I thought that the story let me try that again. The storytelling split, I thought that was really well done, personally. I thought that, like, the way that it framed sort of a storytelling style while still having the real life everyday stuff filter into the story. What I've read from him in interviews is that he really wanted it to feel like a real story is being told. And I got that vibe from it. I liked it. I thought it was well done, personally, in my opinion.
Actually,
What are your thoughts on that?
so my last check mark, because you did remind me of it, okay? Because you're right, it doesn't jump in right to the past tense stuff until maybe like chapter like 4 or 5. And
we're eased into it. We are eased in, like, okay,
Yes.
this is my story. Here
Yes.
you go.
And I did like that. Like, don't get me wrong, I do like that. Like, but that doesn't mean I'm okay with past tense stuff, right? I just enjoyed easing me into the needle, so to speak. I did like that. Like, I love the part about the spider on the bar and how he knew what it was, and he's like, oh, I don't know what it means. Like, no. I am just a barman. I'm just a humble barman. Yup. No epicness from me today.
I don't know what you mean. I am not an adventurer.
Yeah, I'm not a legendary type of figure at all.
Yeah. So you know what I actually really liked about that aspect in the story? And I think this links to, if anyone's read any Terry Pratchett, I think it's the same sort of vibe in terms of, like, what you call yourself is what you are.
Yeah,
that names matter, and how we present in the world, like what story we tell is what we kind of like become.
Yeah.
I thought that was really interesting. I really liked that aspect of just, like, I guess the sympathy, the magic system in it, you know? Like, I thought that was really well done. I thought that was really, like, subtly done as well. It wasn't sort of, we were told it and then that's a thing. We were shown it, and I thought that was really nice.
Yeah. All right. If you have any, do you have it? Was that your last check mark, or are we okay?
Yeah, that's going to be my last check mark. I'm going to let you go ahead with the X's.
Okay, my first X. Past tense. This is a past tense story. Why is this a past tense story? I hate it. Listen, I think it's the most laziest thing in the world to do. Like, I really do. Just tell your story and trust the world. You could trust, like, if you built a solid world and a solid story around it, there is no need to tell the story past tense. Just go from the beginning and start from there. Why are we... It's just so confusing to me why writers and authors think this is such a magnificent writing tool. It isn't. It's stupid. Listen, if episode 1 starts out, and he's already Darth Vader, and he's like, this is how I became Darth Vader, you would be annoyed. You would be so pissed off at that. Like, you would. It doesn't make any fucking sense. It just doesn't. And I hate when this happens, because I'm engrossed in this story, and here comes the needle, and I almost threw my phone at the wall, and I'm like, I don't think I can finish this book now. I really don't. Again with a past tense story? Why? You did such a good job with the wordsmith and the world. It looks good. Let me experience it. Don't let me experience for past tense eyes. What in the bloody hell are you doing? That's my first X.
And it's a big X. I feel, you know what? As soon as it did take that turn, for me, it's not an issue. I don't like. It's not so jarring for me to engage in that. It's easy enough for me to flip into that, as long as they're not being jarring in their writing of it. The past tense itself is not jarring for me. So I didn't think of it immediately, but when I was sort of going through it, I was like, shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Caveman's gonna hate that.
Oh, yeah.
And unfortunately, the way that we do this show, in order for us to have a little bit more spontaneity, I guess, in how we present, and you know, we want to come to you with real interactions and that sort of stuff. Like, we don't talk about, like, sometimes we do text a little bit beforehand about, like, some things that, like, pissed us off or whatever, but then we'll stop ourselves and be like, no, we'll save it for the show. We'll save it for the show.
Yeah.
Or even stuff that we really loved, and et cetera, you know? So part of that means that a lot of the time, sometimes, I'd say probably the rule is I don't read the book first. So what that means is sometimes we get books that have stuff in them that I didn't realize was in them. A lot of the time I can be like, oh, this is time traveling in it. That's a no for us. Or, you know, this is like a based in real life history space. I'm like, yeah, that's a no for us. So some things I can get from the actual you know, synopsis or what have you. And like this book, I read a little bit of it first, but obviously it doesn't start right away. So I could not safeguard us from it, and I'm sorry. With that being said, my first X is...
Is it the woe is me?
Is it what?
Is it the woe is me?
No, it's not, but that annoyed me.
Yeah?
It's the female characters.
Yeah.
And it pisses me off that I have to say this, because I think there's so much potential, and I think, annoyingly, he has actually written pretty good female characters in this. However... so every so often we talk about the Bechdel test, which is not actually, it was formed as a joke to kind of point out the fact that in movies, a lot of movies, you know, women don't have any lines that are not about or to the male protagonist. And that's it. That's the entire thing. All you have to do to pass the Bechdel test is to have two female characters talking to one another about something outside of the male main character. That is literally all you have to do to pass the Bechdel test, because it's supposed to be a joke initially, and now we're talking about it like a real thing, and it's sad. But the fact of the matter is, in this book, I think technically it passes, because you have, I've forgotten the name of the woman scientist doctor in the school. And Ori, who's the girl that like lives underneath the school. Technically, they have a conversation about an apple. But it is so incredibly brief, and I would not technically count it. And it's frustrating, because the way that he has set up his world is a very sort of patriarchal world. There are women that are studying. There are women that are important in this. There are, like, different characters and there's definitely different female roles that are flushed out. That, you know, we've got... these sorts of roles that are in there, and you can see them, and you can see them as full-on characters, but you don't actually interact with them in the
No,
story, and
you
it
don't.
pissed me off.
Yeah.
Because I guess this relates to Kvothe. I actually don't know how to pronounce that. How do you pronounce the main character's first name? Because you're
Roth?
going to know that. I'm not.
Like roll?
Roth.
Roth.
Roll?
Roth?
Roth. Okay,
I
that
don't-
is not what I was saying in my head.
I like roll? Like Roth? Like I he has a nickname, but I forgot. There was a point in the book where I just start listening to his name
Yeah.
because all I heard is like a baby like crying, like just like with a that doesn't have a bottle. And then I'm like, I'm not listening to this.
I see what you mean. Yes. I was like, there was a baby in the audiobook? What? No, I get what you mean. Yeah, and I think that's what annoyed me too, is that, we're given this perspective of like a young man, which, knowing how the story was written, okay, fair. That's what he knew. He was literally in university as he was writing this story about a young man. We hear about his childhood, and then, the meat and potatoes of a lot of it happens while this young man is at university. So, okay, fair, that's what he knows, but also, oh my God.
Yeah. There's not a lot of writers that can do it, like make it work. And I think the Shaken Earth trilogy, like the fifth planet, does it so well. Like the first book did it so well because we never got that again, but it was used to get to know all these characters from point A to point B, and then by the second book, we didn't do the past tense because that was over. And this pissed me off because my second check mark is the woe is me. Okay. It's too much. It's like full pages and chapters of like Shakespeare like cutting himself and all this kind of stuff. Woe is me, I'm too like shut the fuck up, dude. Like shut up before I come in there and shove something in your bottom. So I could make you have something to go, woe is me. Like, you know what I mean? It's just like, it's full paragraphs and full pages, and it's just like filler.
There's definitely room to cut back on that, for sure. I thought, this is what I had difficulty with, was that, like, I thought the book, like, the way that it was written and, like, the flow of it was actually quite good.
Yeah.
But because we've got this character that is at the center of all of it, and he is telling his story about himself, you kind of don't get any breaks from his mentality, if you will.
Yeah.
So, like, it's funny because I was even, like, as I was reading one of the interviews with Patrick Rothfuss, one of the questions was like, what's your favorite character? And he's like, well, that's a difficult question because I think, there's some characters that come into the story
like
and
who?
have their glittering moment and then they go away and it's wonderful. But, some of the characters like Kvothe, we are stuck with the entire time and they kind of pissed me off.
Yeah.
Because I'm writing about them all the time. I'm
Yeah.
changing this. True book. But yeah, I agree. I'm gonna move forward with my next X.
Okay. I have one more
And-
after you.
Yeah, I have one more after this X. So
Oh!
Yeah, I know.
Whoa, I see?
I mean, so technically,
Crabby
this is
old
3.
man. Crabby old man, right? No. I'm supposed to be the Okay, go ahead. What's your next
I
X?
know. So the reasoning behind his, like, quick healing and his, like, special abilities and that sort of stuff, like, is not really explained. Like, we have no real reason why he picks up on these things quicker, you know, like there's definitely something to be said for like, oh, this kid is clearly neurodivergent and he's like picking up on these things because he's seeing patterns and that's why he's so good at that sort of stuff. But that doesn't really explain away why he's just, you know, magically gifted at healing and like that sort of stuff. It's just there, and it just seems like, okay, so this is just a bit of it's not an overpowered MC for sure, because he definitely gives him his foibles and that sort of stuff, but he just seems like, why the magical healing? Why is he so quick at that? Like, I get it's super convenient for the story because he doesn't die from like a sepsis wound or something, but like, what?
Yeah. It's a lot, right? The way the thing that writers do, we have to like have self-control. Sometimes we create a character that's like we're really into it, and we just keep going with it, right? And going and going and going and going. And I recently had trouble with some of my when I'm writing some of my characters, right? That I like it and I wanted to go further. And I'm like, okay, if I go any further with this scene, it's going to be unearned, so I have to roll it back. Yeah. Right?
Exactly.
And
it's unearned qualities.
Yeah, and it seems like he never did that, and someone should have looked at this and said, hey, Patrick, just a thought. Why don't you just roll it back a little bit?
Yeah.
So, my last X, this book is 27 hours long on Audible. 27 fucking hours!
It's like a day and a little bit. It's fine.
This book, okay, and LB and everybody in
I
this...
did warn you beforehand.
Yeah. So everybody in this room probably knows this fact. If you walk into a writer's room or any casting, if you can't answer why, then it's a bad idea. Patrick, hey, this book is going to be this long. Why?
Yeah.
That's it. Like, and I know that for people that don't work in the industry, like, why is that such an important question? It is. If you can't answer why, then it's a bad idea to begin with. You have to be able to stand by your decision and explain it in context why this fucking book is 27 fucking hours! It just gets on and on and on and on. For no reason. For no bloody reason. There is no reason why this book needed to be 27 hours. You could have cut down a lot of woe is me and no one understands me, man. You could cut that back so much. Like so much, and it wouldn't have lost any pacing. Like there's a reason why editing exists. And it's for this reason.
Yeah. I mean, so my last X is, I think it's kind of spurned on from that because I think, this guy has written an epic fantasy is what this guy's done, right? Like he's created this huge big work of writing. It's still requiring its third book, you know, like it's blown all the way up and it's quite an interesting world that he's created, and there's a lot of different avenues still. There's like, you know, what's going on over here? What's that story about? Like what's going on here? So there's definitely like, he's generated this own world and this, you know, realistic feel and all that sort of stuff. But my last X, which is one of my personal things, is I don't generally like stories that aren't standalones.
Yeah.
Like I think when you write a book, even if it's a part of a series, even if it's a part of like a 14-book series or whatever, you should be able to finish the book and think that was a full story. It's
Yeah.
a part of a bigger story, and so I want to find out what happens next in the tale of, this epic adventure. But that was a full, complete story.
Yeah.
This very much felt like, and it was written like, okay, we got to round it up, guys. We got the end of the book here, so we'll continue this later. And it was like, it wasn't a cliffhanger, so that I did appreciate, that it didn't leave on a cliffhanger, because I would have thrown the book. Because you can't have that big of a book finish on a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. Not allowed. No. If you're going to write a big, massive fucking book, you can't have a cliffhanger like that. So there was no cliffhanger, but it wasn't finished.
Yeah.
It's not a finished story.
No.
The way that he's framed it is that the entirety of the three, knowing how it was published, is it was written as a whole big saga, and it's been split into books because the publisher obviously said, no, you can't have one book be that big. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But the way that it reads is not like it's been edited to be a singular book. It just kind of stops in the middle of a conversation.
Yeah.
And that irritated the shit out of me.
I agree. 27 hours. How many chapters was this? Like 50? Like 75?
You know what? I've got the book right in front of me. Let me tell you. What is the last chapter? Chapter 92.
Yeah, it's too long. I'm sorry. Just like there's studies in movies why movies shouldn't be 5 hours long or 4 hours long.
Yeah, exactly.
There's just as many studies to books. Why?
Yeah.
And you're probably saying out there, the Caveman and LB, Game of Thrones. Listen, that's very different. A Song of Ice and Fire is very different. Lord of the Rings is very different. You have multiple
Also,
characters.
I would argue same kind of arguing points there. I'm like, take me out if you want to, but Tolkien goes on.
Yeah.
He describes a tree for 5 pages. Fuck off. No.
Yeah, that's true.
I get the beauty and the like.
Look at this.
Everything behind it.
Isn't it
but
cool?
No. The reason why it's that long is because he doesn't know how to summarize.
Yeah. That's true, but, Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones, that stuff, there's a lot of other things at play there.
Yes.
And that would be my
Oh, God,
argument.
absolutely. I mean, like, they're famous, they got away with it. So,
Well, no,
like,
I mean, the Song of Ice and Fire, there's many, many different characters. It's complicated.
Yes.
Yeah. It's not like we're focusing on one character for 500 chapters.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
But I think even in that sense, if we were to dissect that, then, the editing note would be, okay, how about we explore 3 of these characters and the other book you write in consecutive time with the other characters you want to focus on.
We'll
how
never,
about that?
We'll
But
never,
we'll never see that.
We'll never do a Game of Thrones, the whole trilogy.
Oh, God, no,
absolutely not. Like, I've read them. They're absolutely phenomenal. But I don't, the audiobook is just too expensive, and I don't want to be 80 years old when I finish the books. So, anyway,
right?
yay or nay? Thumbs up or thumbs down, LB? What do we say? Recommend or not recommend? I like when I do this.
With all of that being said, with all of our notes being said, I would definitely recommend. I thoroughly enjoyed the book. I want to read the next ones. I definitely have my notes about it. I've literally already had this conversation with one person saying, look, everyone's saying read it. I would say read it. There's these caveats, but read it. I liked it. It's not finished, though.
You always put me in these hard positions, LB. I love it.
I mean, it wouldn't be a good show if I didn't.
So, it's not finished. I hate, listen, I'm not the one for these type of books, But I'm
I
going
know.
to. The wordsmithing though really like. So here's the thing.
Right?
I am going.
It's gorgeous writing.
Yeah. So it thumbs up with an asterisk. If you're a writer out there, if you're a writer of film, TV shows, and you hate past tense, you are not going to like this book.
No.
You are going to hate the shit out of it. But if you like Shakespeare and you don't care, you're going to love this book.
Yeah.
And then we turn the page to next month. And LB, what are we taking a look at next month?
So next month, we are going to take a look at a book that I've wanted to do for a fair amount of time. We're going to look at A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab.
Ooh.
Now, we've done V.E. Schwab beforehand. If any longtime listeners recognize the name, we did Vicious, a while back now. A number of years ago now. But
Vicious. I recall my memory, like, what was Vicious?
So Vicious was a story. How do I describe Vicious? It was a story about basically like a serial killer, and like two separate men who have like superpowers essentially.
Oh yeah, I quite enjoyed that book.
And there's like a young girl
Yeah.
that has like an ability to.
That's
It was
right.
really well written, I thought. We really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
We had a great time discussing it. So I've wanted to return to V.E. Schwab again, because also when I picked up that book, it was off of intrigue from other random strangers in a bookshop being like, "Oh my God, V.E. Schwab!" Yeah, and it was like two random strangers. Like I'm not no word of a lie.
Okay.
Two random strangers that encountered each other in a bookshop, like connecting over their love of the author, and me being like just a weirdo in the back, overhearing their excitement that this author brought together these two random strangers. I was like, I gotta read something from them. And we read that book and we loved that book. So I'd love to take on A Darker Shade of Magic, which is one of their earlier books.
You're reminding me.
Yes.
Now, for those of you who are watching right now, you're like, caveman, you don't remember a book. Okay, let me be honest with you guys. How many
The
programs?
amount of books we read.
How many programs have we done on this show? Like movie review
my
shows?
God.
Like, you expect me to remember something like 2 years ago, like 3 years ago?
No.
It's like, it's not going to happen. It's not.
Like, I barely remember the names of my coworkers,
Yeah,
okay? Like,
yeah.
I'm not going to remember
Chill out.
a
So,
book that we read, like, 2 years ago when we've had at least, 20 books in between
Yeah.
with all the other shows that you do,
Yeah.
et cetera, et cetera. No, it's not happening.
yeah. So, we're going to pin down the date. But before we go, guys, we have to do caveman growls. So, Alan Keyes?
Cavernous man, I do not see, I don't see anything here, but I can tell you I'm watching, and I can tell you Rhea's watching.
Yeah, so you're saying Facebook is not helping us out at all.
I am hoping Amy Hawkins is watching after you popped her cherry yesterday.
Okay, all right,
That's it.
yeah, all right. Okay, so, guys, LB, I don't know what he's talking about. So Facebook's not cooperating? I mean, that always happens here. Yeah, we'll figure it out. We're getting going. So, guys, we want to know what... LB, I literally don't know what he's talking about. Oh, she's going to have words for me after. Oh, you got me in trouble, Alan Keyes. You 40 lashes.
At no extra cost.
Yeah. So, so guys, that will do it for us tomorrow. We will be right back here tomorrow with the season finale of Final Countdown Top 10 Hated Movies, and we're almost done. So, until then, take care, be safe, be well, and we love you all! 50,000 plus. And may the Schwartz be with you. There's no outro here. All you have to do is sign off, and that's it.